Our guest on Good Morning Angels today is Shannon van Coller, who lost her brother very tragically in the early hours of Saturday morning, 8 October, in a house robbery that ended in tragedy for Sean and also his kids. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you
and for joining us. Horrible, horrible day. Getting a phone call like that. What time did the phone call come through?
It was probably about 10 to 4 in the morning. It had happened so quickly. I got a phone call from my brother's girlfriend at the time saying there had been an incident and not much else was really said. It was only about 2 minutes later where Tristan sent me a message to say, Auntie Shani, I don't know what's going on. Daddy's been shot. Boy, did I just drop everything and run because, you didn't know what the whole circumstances were. Unfortunately, at the time, I phoned my mom to say, look, I'm coming to fetch you. And she said, I think I've had a stroke. You have to take me to hospital first.
Your mom?
Yeah. So my husband went off to help Sean and see what was going on there. I had to go to hospital, take my mom to hospital because I couldn't tell her what happened to my brother. I didn't know the whole dynamics.
She didn't know at that stage?
She didn't know.
So you were dealing with two...
It was horrendous. It was only when I dropped her off at the hospital, I phoned my husband. I said, what's going on? He said, Shani, I'm so sorry, but Sean's passed. And I didn't believe him. I couldn't believe it. Drove all the way there and, yeah, I saw it for myself. It was absolutely horrendous. It's only actually 6 hours later that I went back to the hospital and told my mom what had happened.
Was your mom okay? What?
She did have something happen to her, but wasn't a stroke. She had a CT scan, all that type of thing. There is a neurological thing, but I really don't know. She still has to go and see somebody. We haven't dealt with that yet, but yes.
I'm so sorry about Sean. Horrific. That was a house robbery. They made off with, what? 2
cell phones and his wallet, which had nothing in it, except for his ID cards, all that type of thing. Tristan was the first person where they put the gun through the window and asked him for his cell phone. He said, look, my cell phone's in my brother's room. Very quick thinking, I must admit, on his behalf. And when he got that opportunity to run out the door, they broke a big window that didn't have any security or burglar proofing on it. And through that breaking of the glass, Sean woke up. And the way their room is designed is that down the passage is an L shape, so everybody sort of missed each other. And because it was load shedding, Sean couldn't feel Tristan in his bed, so he presumed he must have been abducted or taken out of the room, and one was already in the house taking the wallet off of the kitchen and the cell phone. And when he came back, there must have been something that happened there. I think they took a panga to his arm from the wounds that I can see, and the other one shot him in the back. They ran off, and because it was load shedding, nothing was working, the electricity was off, cameras.
Horrific.
They got away with virtually nothing. They were old cell phones, nothing to really write home about. And Tristan ran back outside. He was still alive at the time. He was sitting up and just battling to breathe. The emergency services unfortunately took too long to get there, but he was still alive then. And his heart just stopped. They tried working on him for 30 minutes. Tried and tried this, like they really did persist to try and get him to be alive. And then he just passed away right then and there on the scene.
Tristan's the youngest.
He's the oldest.
He's the oldest.
Yeah. And the youngest, they just made sure he stayed away, but Tristan saw everything.
Blayden, is it?
Blayden, yeah. And then a couple of days later, it was Tristan's birthday, and a week later, then it was Blayden's. And to try and deal with that first of everything so soon afterwards was just been traumatic, and funeral, and how do you cope with living with 2 extra kids? Boom, all of a sudden. And I only live in a 2-bedroom place. It's small, you've got school fees, you've got clothes. I worked out a little budget just to get the basics with cell phone, airtime. You know what kids are like with Wi-Fi, data. It's at least 15,000 Rand extra a month just for 2 people. And you just feel so overwhelmingly sad and lost, and nothing can bring Sean back, and it doesn't even seem like they're going to find these guys. But even still, it's just the whole... Can't believe he's gone. And he was just getting his life together. He landed the dream job that he's been wanting to. He's been struggling all of his life. His wife passed away 12 years ago. She unfortunately died too. The kids were 3 and 5.
How'd she die?
She committed suicide. Again, I was also called into that because he was at work. He said, something's wrong at the house, go there. Found her lying on the floor. They had to try and resuscitate her and also take her to hospital, and she died of brain damage because it was too long
With the kids there?
as well. They have gone through things that kids should never go through.
Unspeakable.
And I'm trying to stay strong for everybody. I haven't really taken time out for myself. It's been 5 weeks worth of paperwork and this and that and trying to find death certificates and going to various places. It's been a lot. But I love those boys with all my heart. They've gone through so much. I have a daughter of my own. She's 18. She's writing matric at the moment. Tristan's going into matric. And the youngest one is just gone into high school.
No, that is just...
And it's like, how do you cope with all of this?
Well, firstly, you are incredible.
I really just want to bawl my eyes out all the time, but I know I can't. I've got to be so strong.
You are remarkable. How are Tristan and Blayden? How does one even begin to explain to them?
I think first of
It's
all,
been so
knowing that
cruel.
they've got a loving family. They've got
Yes.
us, at least. That's one good thing, is that they've got a roof. They've got a stretcher bed. I mean, I've just plonked them wherever I possibly could find a space,
Yeah.
just to make sure that they're comfortable and that they're loved. Every day I'm like, make sure that they're loved and they're told, and if they want to talk to me, that they can. Fortunately, a private lady had found out what had obviously been put on social media through a post that Natalie put on, and she's like said, how do we help these kids? And they need therapy, which they are going to now. People that want to try and help out, few donations here and there, which every little bit really helps. I mean, you don't realize how much 2 teenage boys are compared to a teenage girl.
Oh.
Whoa, it's like
But
there was a...
How do you motivate them to keep studying, to go through school? Isn't it hard enough to motivate and encourage a child under normal
It
circumstances
is, very much
to
so.
write matric?
Yeah.
What the heck do you say and do? Are they okay at school?
Blayden is amazing. He is a top achiever. He's number 7 in his class. He 80s,
Really?
90s. He's phenomenal, this boy. Tristan, he's like my daughter. He like plods along, you know. He's like
Yeah.
the man, whatever.
A top 10 achiever,
That is Blayden.
Young
the youngest. Top 10. He is.
which means that even
magnificent.
after all this happened, he just kept studying.
Yeah. And unfortunately, he did fall ill about 2 weeks ago, and I think it was more because of the pressure and the stress and the
Of
trauma that's
course.
come on. He was sick with the flu, but I think they were just totally exhausted and drained for 2 days.
I'm surprised they're still at school.
He just
Surprised.
couldn't wait to go to school.
Yeah.
I want to be at school. I just love school so much. I don't like missing a day.
Incredible.
He's incredible. Tristan, on the other hand, you can see he's taking a lot of strain. He's trying to be strong,
Yeah.
but you can see that he's just
My goodness.
like a zombie sometimes, just walks around, and I just have to keep encouraging
It's
him.
just unthinkable being there. Your mother commits suicide,
Yeah.
and then how many years later you're there when your dad. I mean, it is just.
It's so senseless.
Oh man, and you've.
It's really, really tough, and I know God has dealt us this hand for a reason, and I never thought I could be this strong, but I'm also just a human being too. The weight is so heavy, and my heart physically feels broken.
Of course. Who's around you?
I have.
You're talking about
17
Natalie just now.
She's been my rock. She's really been tremendous. I'd have a husband as well, obviously, my daughter, and my mom, who's 74, that she's quite frail. She's with this whole incident with the stroke, or almost stroke. She battles to get around. She'll need looking after too sometime. And I think it's gotten to the point where she said, I don't think I could stay in this house much longer because I can battle to get up and down the stairs. So now you're thinking there's another problem that I've got to sort out. So maybe what are we going to do with that? sell both places, move into one. I mean, you can't live the way we are at the moment. I mean, Tristan, we've got to kind of move his stretcher bed so he can get in and out of the kitchen way, and Blayden's in the
It's too
study
much.
area. It's like, and
It's too
we're
much.
in each other's spaces. They don't have a bedroom of their own. They don't have a closet of their own. There's like a little wicker basket on the floor. Put your clothes in there. It's ridiculous, but we are trying to cope and we're trying to manage.
Well, you're just an inspiration. I mean, for goodness sake. And it's easy, and it's like a throwaway line, and it's kind of, I find it, there's a certain amount of resent that comes with the line, just stay strong, when people say to you, just stay strong in a
Yeah.
situation like that. Because, you know, how do you, but you have to, kind of. But it sounds like you've got some really amazing people around you, which makes me so happy. Your daughter,
Yes.
your husband, the two boys, Natalie,
Yeah.
and everybody. And I want to add to that a support structure for you on the show this morning. I want to introduce you to some more angels. And they are our sponsors from our Festive edition. And you must, I mean, what do you even say? I'm speechless listening to all this. I'm like, but we can try and make it a bit better.
Thank you. I really appreciate any assistance or help.
Well, Andre's here for that. Andre from our Festive sponsors, Roman's Pizza.
Thanks, Martin. Good morning, Shannon.
Morning.
Any kind of words is inadequate to try and bring comfort to your situation. I cannot understand what you guys are going through. I'm too a family man, and I can imagine
Sure.
what it is like. Sure, what a story. My heart goes out to you and your kids and your family.
Thank you.
All of a sudden, you got 2 kids to feed, school fees to look after next year, the unknown expenses that 2 brothers bring along. I can imagine what it must be like. I'm glad to hear that Tristan is so into academics. That's great. He's well balanced. And I'm sure between him and his brother, they're going to achieve great success in the future. It's a setback. I really feel for you guys. So from Roman's Pizza, we would like to assist wherever we can, whether it be school fees for next year, or just a bit of something just to sit you guys through for December, just to make your festive life a bit more easier and a bit more cheerful. So from Roman's Pizza, we'd like to donate you 35,000
Oh
Rand.
my goodness.
Just to make, as I said, make your life a bit easier for the next couple of weeks, and maybe into early next year. Clear's Kitchen would also love to donate heartwarming home-cooked meals for you guys to enjoy as a family, your new extended family. Just to enjoy from both of Roman's Pizza as well as Clear's Kitchen. Just have a blessed, blessed Merry Christmas.
That is unbelievable. Thank you so much.
That's the least we can.
I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much to both of you.
Thank you, Roman's Pizza. Thank you, Andre.
Thank
much,
you.
much appreciated. My gosh, Shannon, we're there for you. We're thinking of you. And young Tristan and Blayden. Your daughter, what's her name?
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. Your husband, your friends, your family, your mom. All of you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to match that from our Good Morning Angels Fund. It's just...
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. It just helps to not have to have such stress on one's shoulders every day. You wake up and I don't think that it's real. It's 6 weeks tomorrow. The wound is still so fresh. I know we've got a long road ahead of us, a really long road. But just this will really help us to lighten the load, as you say.
70,000 is not enough, but I hope it helps.
Thank you very much. It really will. And I'll make sure these boys are looked after as best as we can.
I know.
I really will. I love these boys.
I know.
And I really miss my brother so much. We were more than brothers and sister. He was my best friend. I'm gonna miss him so much.
Breakfast with Martin Bester, 6 to 9 weekdays, Jacaranda FM.